This is the Valley Today.
We're tracking some local breaking news this morning. Crews were just on the scene of a fire from earlier this morning at Fabricators Unlimited near downtown Fargo. Now we have a live look right now at the 800. Firefighters were called out around 4 o'clock this morning to the 800 block of NP Avenue. We're still waiting to hear on what is going on, though, or what happened inside that building.
Yeah, taking that live look, crews seem to be clearing out, but it was very much active just moments ago. There's no word on anyone injured or the cause of that fire. Emergency vehicles had blocked part of NP Avenue, but they're clearing out and traffic is starting to move again. Be sure to stick with us as we work to get more information again on this breaking news.
Also breaking news this morning, President Joe Biden says a tentative agreement has been reached to avert a potentially devastating railroad strike, saying that deal would avoid disruption of the economy. The president says the rail workers will get better pay, improved working conditions, and peace of mind about their health care cost.
Railway companies would be able to retain and recruit more workers. A strike could have halted shipments of food and fuel at a cost of $2 billion a day. That would result in empty store shelves and worsening shipping delays. A Minnesota man is going to prison for more than 40 years in what the FBI calls the largest sextortion case ever right here in the U.S. Federal authorities have identified 1,100 minors, all targeted by 31-year-old Yu Veng, you see on your screen there, of St. Paul.
The victims are in every state and even 13 other countries. They range in age from 12 to 17. The U.S. Department of Justice says from 2015 through 2020, Veng tricked young victims into producing and sending him child porn. And if they refused, he would then threaten to and did release their sexually explicit images and videos. Now, the judge says Veng was calculated and cruel and he caused everlasting harm. Final arguments are expected later today in the Arthur Colley murder trial. He is accused in the brutal attack of 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson in a Fargo parking lot from last summer.
The defense took just one day to present its case. Colley's sister and mental health professionals testified yesterday that he's been dealing with mental health issues for quite some time.
Noticed that he was talking to somebody that wasn't there. Auditory hallucinations maybe that he was responding to.
Closing arguments are set for 9 o'clock this morning.
6:03 now, time for a look at our storm team forecast. Good morning, Lisa Green. A lot going on outside.
Good morning. Yes, rain, thunderstorms. We've got some wind out there in Fargo right now, and rain that's actually pushing into the metro again here just to start off this morning. So here's a look at the latest. We've got a loop here just to show you the direction of these scattered showers and thunder showers, kind of moving their way from southeast to north, or rather southwest to northeast here this morning. We're going to start in the Southern Valley here. There are some places seeing some new development in parts of eastern North Dakota. If you've been following along this morning, this is new. And then down into southeastern parts of North Dakota, we're also seeing some areas of development around Sargent and into places like Richland County. And then Fargo, watching this area of rain pushing in, and there's been some wind associated with that as well. Let's expand the view. You can see the movement here and even a little bit of a bowing section of that rain, indicating that there's been some wind gusts with that little swirl here, kind of a S-shaped curve here, indicating that we've got a push of wind. So that, I've been noticing our tower cam shaking a little bit with that. And that, of course, is bringing in the rain as well to the FM area. That's going to continue pushing into Clay County. Now back over toward Lakes Country. Detroit Lakes just got done going through some thunderstorm activity, quieting down for you now. But Frazee back up into eastern parts of Becker County now along Highway 34. You're watching that rain and thunder move through. Not as intense. The lightning isn't as numerous being detected within that storm. So that's good. There's a stronger storm hitting places like the Pembina Gorge, the Walhalla area right now up in eastern parts of Cavalier County, moving toward western and even extending into western parts of Pembina County. That's going to eventually climb up northward into north of the border into Canada there, but still impacting these areas. Might be some small hail with that one. And in addition to that, some gusty winds. And then, of course, over to the east, this line, this is kind of the leading line, back through the Lake of the Woods area, back down toward northern Clearwater County, moving into the Red Lake area. So again, keeping an eye on this storm for being a little bit stronger here over into the Walhalla area. So expanding the view, this is going to continue moving to the north and east here as we go through the morning. So tracking these thunderstorms, take a look at these temperatures. We are into the 70s in the south, 50s in the north. There's going to be quite a range through the day today to give you an idea of what we're experiencing. And look at this rain on our sky cam here in the background. This is at Luther Family Ford in Fargo. This will continue for a while. And we're looking at 2 rounds of storms, first this morning and then again tonight. So there is a lot to go over. So we're going to talk more about what to expect today through the rest of the week and the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. It is now 6:05. Abortion remains a hot button topic across the country. And yesterday, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison took a tour of that new Red River Women's Clinic in Moorhead.
Our cameras were not allowed inside, but he spoke after his tour about why he's taking a stand on the abortion issue altogether. Valley News Team's Nashay Taylor has the story.
Attorney General Keith Ellison stopped in Moorhead to hear the concerns of the citizens, including the protection of individual rights.
Well, people want to make sure that they have a right to choose.
The overturning of Roe versus Wade has now left it up to states to decide if abortion should be legal. Ellison has been a strong advocate for having abortions be a personal choice.
I believe women have a right to choose, and I'm not saying they should choose abortion or not. It's up to them.
The Red River Women's Clinic was North Dakota's only abortion provider. Following the ruling, the clinic moved across the river to Moorhead to ensure services were still available for those wanting an abortion.
Minnesota is really sort of an island in the Midwest. North and South Dakota, Iowa, even Wisconsin are sort of not available to people the way they were.
Ellison says he will protect anyone who may be prosecuted for visiting Minnesota to get an abortion.
I will file motions in those states to have those cases dismissed, because people have a right to travel to Minnesota and they have a right to get an abortion in Minnesota.
The Red River Women's Clinic has seen a backlash from those who do not agree with abortions, including threats against those visiting the clinic. The Attorney General says those issuing those threats should be prosecuted to the fullest extent.
We absolutely have to condemn the violence. If you have a point of view that is different, then that's your right as an American to have your First Amendment viewpoint, but you cannot push that point of view with violence.
Ellison says now his office will continue to fight for the rights of the citizens.
It's not up to some politician, and I just think that this Dodd decision was absolutely wrong. It was an affront to the basic liberties of our country, and we have to follow the law, but we don't have to like it, and we're going to do all we can.
In Moorhead, Nashay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Ellison's opponent in November is Republican Jim Schultz, who says he is anti-abortion. Now, Schultz says abortion should not be a campaign issue and that Minnesotans should instead be focused on crime.
See on Minneapolis streets, on streets in greater Minnesota and elsewhere, extraordinary crime, unprecedented increase in our state's history.
If Schultz wins this fall, he would be the very first Republican AG in Minnesota since 1967. Police have caught up with the suspect in a downtown Fargo death. U.S. Marshals arrested 58-year-old Roberto Garcia yesterday in St. Paul. You see him there on your screen. He's in custody on manslaughter and assault warrants in the death of Cirillo Contreras, who was found dead on August 14th.
A Moorhead man is now facing charges after reports of gunshots on the city's south side this week. Police were called to the 18th Street and 30th Avenue South intersection Tuesday night. They found 2 people fighting and then a gun on the ground. 37-year-old Adil Hussein was arrested for obstructing the legal process. Police say no one was hurt and there was no damage to property. A North Dakota man is now in jail after a chase that started in West Fargo. West Fargo police say they tried pulling over a driver near the Cheyenne High School on Tuesday night, but he took off into Cass County.
Deputies stopped the car with spikes on a gravel road, but then he took off running into a farm field. They then used a drone to find him and arrested 48-year-old Sean Galusha of Williston for driving under suspension, fleeing, and even parole violations. Quite the scare at a Fargo homeless shelter. Listen to this. The bomb squad was called to the Gladys Ray shelter on 1st Avenue South yesterday afternoon after a bag was left behind.
It is protocol to go through it, and managers then called police after finding a device that looked suspicious. The bomb squad determined that bag contained commercial-grade fireworks. 155 North Dakota National Guard members are on their way to the latest deployment. Soldiers from the Fargo-based 191st Military Police Company were honored with a send-off ceremony yesterday.
Yeah, that was downtown at the Fargo Civic Center. They'll be deployed overseas for a year-long mission in support of the U.S. Central Command's operation. It's called Spartan Shield. It's taking place in Southwest Asia. 30 soldiers from this unit served at Guantanamo Bay in 2012, and many have also served in Iraq. The calendar may signal pumpkin spice and Halloween, but inflation rates have a lot of people seeing red and green.
Still to come on the Valley today, getting a move on that holiday shopping to score some big savings. But first, we're talking about rain today, maybe some lightning and thunder. You see the raindrops on our sky cam there, looking to the east in South Fargo. Lisa Green lets us know what to expect as we head through the day.